お前はもう死んでいる。
Replays here, back again with another One Piece video, and this video is obviously by the title and maybe the thumbnail. It is going over chapters 956 and 957 of One Piece. Now, these are the interlude or buffer chapters, as someone might say. These are the chapters that are in between, like main arcs and all that. So it's more of like world building and seeing like what's going on around the world. Well, first thing is we find out that there is an incident with after the Reverie with the Alabasta Kingdom. Now we don't know what it is. We don't know who. So it's up in the air. Either Cobra's dead, Vivi's captured, or both. We don't know. Next thing, we find out that there's some huge news concerning about Sabo. Now, in my Act 2 video, we talked about how the revolutionaries fought with the admirals Fujitora and Green Bull. Now, yeah, that did happen. It was on the 4th day of Reverie, so, you know, something happened. Something big happened. Now, we don't exactly know what exactly. We do see that Fujitora is off somewhere, and he's fighting some people. I mean, he is still injured from that fight from before, from the Reverie and all that, but he is on a ship, and he's somewhere. We don't know if he's in the comm belt with Kobe and anybody else who are attacking, well, the warlords, which I will get into that in a little bit. So then we find out that Blackbeard is setting sail to take someone or something that he doesn't want the Marines to get. So we don't know what that is. It could possibly be Kaido's Devil Fruit. It could possibly be some area he wants to take over. It's possibly the poneglyph that's on Alabasta. It's possibly some other kind of machine or whatever. I don't know. It could be anything really. So then, the most shocking point is we see that X-Drake is revealed to still have ties with the Marines. And he's part of a Marine secret force known as SWORD. This indicates that Drake never really left the Marines. Now this is a big point, because one is, you know, we saw or heard about that Drake ended up being a traitor to the Marines and ended up becoming a pirate. Apparently, he had to do something very, very horrible to seem as a traitor to everyone in the Marines, except for the people known as SWORD. Obviously, this could be led by anybody. It could be led by Sengoku, most likely, because since Sengoku is a retired fleet admiral, and he's had ties to all this, and he knows a lot of things, he possibly created SWORD, and possibly Akainu's one of them. I don't know, because there's a lot of theories going on, because he has a sword tattoo on his arm. It's possible, not really sure. Then there are some other people, maybe Aokiji Kuzan, Aokiji, whatever you want to call him. He's possibly a member of SWORD because he's traveling with the Blackbeard pirates right now. So maybe he's trying to get some intel on Blackbeard or whatever. And then we find out there are some other members of SWORD, like Colby. Colby is a member of Sword. Now, there is a possibility that also Garp is as well. Because if Sengoku is the one who's really behind all of Sword, then that would also mean that Garp knows because they're like best friends and all that. So there's the possibility that Garp knows about Sword and told Colby about it and said, hey, why don't you try joining this team or whatever. So then, not only that, but we find out that, well, Drake's the captain of Sword, of this whole like Sword business. And then we also find out that Colby is not only just a member of Sword, but he is also a rear admiral. Now, a lot of things, and a lot of people are probably saying, how did this happen? Well, there are a few things. One thing is he was one of the people to lead the princes and princesses and kingdoms to Reverie and possibly back as well. So he did help bring the Dressrosa ship to the Reverie. So it's possible that all the events happening at Reverie, or on the way to Reverie, and possibly on the way back, and also some of the other things that Colby has done before, earned him the title of Rear Admiral. So there's a whole lot of possibilities for it, but we don't really know. So there's that. And then we find out that the Warlord system has been abolished. The reason is because Cobra and King Riku obviously had the proposal during the Reverie saying that both nations have been pretty much destroyed because of the Warlord system. So that led to a lot of member nations and everybody else to start voting to abolish the system, and that the new Marine Science Unit would be working as the SSG to replace the Warlords. Pretty much it's saying that a super science group or whatever that Vegapunk has created can rival or even better the Warlord system. So that's why the Warlord system is abolished. So that's why, back to the point that I was talking about with Fujitora, he is either in the Calm Belt with Kobe attacking Boa Hancock and Amazon Lily. It's possible, but we don't really know because we can't really see anything and it doesn't say where he's at. So there's that. Then we also find out that Stainless is confronting Buggy's delivery service. And Stainless is, was one of the ones in the Act 2 that I completely forgot about. I didn't even realize he was the one who confronted Buggy. Next, Mihawk is facing up against the Marines on his island. We don't really know who is going to be at Mihawk's island. It looked like it was just a bunch of Marines. So we know Mihawk's gonna wipe them all out. It's Mihawk. Come on, it's Dracula Mihawk. Then we find out that Edward Weevil is surrounded by all of the Marines that were pretty much with them, or like that. So he got surrounded. We don't really know if he's captured or not. We just see it, that he's surrounded. We don't really know what's gonna happen. Unless the next chapter 958 comes out and it's also another interlude or buffer chapter or whatever, continuing on with this stuff. So there's that, and then like I said, Kobe's on his way to Amazon Lily to capture Boa Hancock. So there's that. So now, that was all in 956. So it's not that much, but it was a decent amount. Now we move on to 957. 957 is the recent chapter that came out last week. Well, actually, if you're reading the official release, it's on Monday, or Sunday. One of the two. It's either on Monday or Sunday. I don't know. I don't read I do read the official release, but like shortly after it's been released and all that. So I don't really read it like when it's there because I read the other ones that are released early. So sure, some stuff might not be the same because of that, but I still end up reading the official one eventually. So next, here we go, 957, which is about rocks. We finally get information about rocks. We've heard this so many times before. Back actually at Reverie, before Wano started, Hina asked Garp about rocks, and he was surprised because, you know, she's one of the younger, members of the Marines, and he's surprised that she knows who Rox is or what Rox was. So we get information about that. So we find out that, well, they're a powerful pirate crew, obviously, and their captain was Rox D. Zebek, who was considered to be Gol D. Rogers' first and greatest enemy. So pretty much, Zebek and Roger fought it out, but I'll get into that in a little bit later. Because we also find out that, yes, Zebek and Roger are members of the Will of D. We still have no idea what the Will of D is, but we do end up getting introduced to a lot more characters with the Will of D in their name. We also find out that not only is Rox D. Zebek, we also see a silhouette of him when it's shown. We also find out that the members of his crew were Whitebeard, Kaido, Big Mom, also Shiki, and John. Now, if you guys don't know who those two characters are, I will put up pictures for pretty much everybody on screen and all that, so that way you guys can see. I can possibly put a manga panel. It'll be like really small though, so that way I don't get copyrighted and all that. But there's that, and then we also find out that Kaido was an apprentice during his time with Rox, so he wasn't really like known quite all that. And then we also find out that two other members have epithets of the Silver Axe and Kochaku that are mentioned for the first time. And actually, we still don't know who Silver Axe is, but Ochaku is Wang Ji. He was a famous Chinese pirate back in the day, an actual real-life pirate. So there's that. We also get that kind of person. And then about 38 years ago, Rox pirates attacked several world nobles and their slaves on an island known as God Valley. This is where I talked about Roger and Zebek clashing. So not only was it just Roger, but Garp and Roger worked together to defeat this crew. This event, however, after the incident, God Valley mysteriously vanished. No idea, leaving no trace, nothing. Like it's just gone. It's not even on the world maps anymore. Then the information about the alliance between Garp and Roger was covered up by the world government. In addition, by also adding in about the Rox pirates was suppressed, and it was revealed that Garp was the main reason for it. And but because of that, he refused to be an admiral, because if he does, then that means he would be under the control of the world nobles, and he does not want that. Nobody really wants that, really. Who would want that? So that's why Garp is not an admiral at all, never has been, never will. Makes sense, because nobody really wants to be, working under the world nobles. And then, now, we get the big information dump of our lifetimes. We get our bounty updates. So we finally get to see the bounties of all the Yonko, including Whitebeard. So there's that. But also, we also get to see Gold Roger. Not bad. So, and then their wanted posters, especially Big Mom's current one, is shown for the first time, obviously, because we don't really see any of them. So we find out that, well, Blackbeard's, we've already seen that one. It's 2,247,600,000 berry bounty. So, he's pretty low. And then if you count Luffy as one of the emperors as well, his is 1.5. So there you go. Next, we actually get introduced to Shanks. Shanks's bounty is 4,048,900,000, which I kind of thought it was a little bit higher than that, because Oda has hyped up Shanks for the longest time, and I thought his bounty was a lot higher, but apparently not. So then we get introduced to Big Mom's, which is 4,388,000, or no, 4,388,000,000, which I will talk about bounties here in a little bit. Next we have Kaido's, which is 4,611,100,000, and then we have Whitebeard's bounty, which was 5,046,000,000 berry bounty. And then we also find out Gold Rogers, or Gol D Roger, or Gold Rod, whatever. We find out Roger's bounty. It is 5,548,000,000. Now, if you guys have been keeping track of all the bounties in One Piece, you will know that Gold Roger and Whitebeard are the highest bounties we've ever seen. Obviously, we also find out that they're the two highest bounties ever. No one person has a higher bounty than Whitebeard and Gold Roger. So there's that. And then, yes, there's the whole thing about Dragon being the most wanted man in the world. Dragon is a criminal. He's not a pirate. He's a revolutionary. He's not a pirate. So the whole thing about Dragon possibly having a higher bounty than Roger is because he is specifically a criminal and not a pirate. So there's also the fact that berries are for pirates, and there's also another economic currency for criminals. There's possibly going to be something that will be brought up, maybe, if we ever get Dragon's bounty. Now, if that is possible, it could be another currency, not berries. So there's that. Now, we also find out at the end of the chapter from Sengoku himself, talking to Akainu, or Akainu, or whatever you want to call them, Sakazuki, I guess. We find out that Odin joined the Roger Pirates for the last voyage. But what we didn't know is that he was also a commander of a division in Whitebeard's crew. Kozuki Odin is a god. So we're definitely going to need to have some flashbacks within the third act of Wano. There's going to have to be something about Odin. There's going to have to be something about his time with Whitebeard and Roger. There's got to be something, because there's a lot of information that Oda is giving us, but it's not all of it. And I mean, that's what Oda does. I get it. You know, you have to throw us a bone here and there, and then you take it away. So at least we finally got the Yonko Bounties and all that. So yeah, there's that. So obviously this is a lot shorter. It's literally just covering over 2 chapters. if there is another video that comes out sometime this weekend, it will possibly be the next chapter, which is 958. Whether or not that is the start of Act 3 or another interlude chapter or buffer chapter or whatever. So if there is another chapter like these two, then I will do a video of it by itself. But if it is the start of Act 3, I will not do it. I will, like I said in the Act 2 video, I will wait till Act 3 is done and do that, because I'm going over everything that happens. I know it's gonna be a toll, but if I bring on one of my friends, I said this at the end of the video, if I bring on one of my friends, we can read off all this stuff really fast, maybe, by taking turns reading, so that way we're not just reading for ever. But yeah, so there's that. Hopefully you guys have enjoyed. If you have, please hit that thumbs up button. Leave some comments down below. What are your thoughts on these bounties for the Yonko and Roger and all of that? Like, it's insane, because, you know, sure, bounties don't really mean like strength or anything in the One Piece world. It just means you're wanted for something. So because Roger was the king of the pirates, of course his bounty is the highest. But finding out that Whitebeard's was the second highest, I mean, it makes sense, because Whitebeard, you know, is Whitebeard. He was a really cool, awesome guy. Although he was sick at the time when he died, so there is that. But the fact that we also found out Kaido, Big Mom, Shanks, their bounties, that's what's good. That's what's good. Although, like I said, I wish Shanks's was a little bit higher. But then again, you know, it makes sense. And then you also find out that there's some little Easter eggs within the bounties. So, how it's written in Japanese is, for Big Mom's bounty, the 88 in her thing can also be read as haha or mother, or like, you know, that's what they say for a mother figure or their actual mother. So then that means Big Mom. And then with Whitebeard's 46 is, or 046 or whatever, is, I think it was like what, Shiro or something like that, and that is white or something like that. So Whitebeard, and then Kaido, King of Beasts or whatever, and then Shanks's is actually the 48,900,000 part. It's it literally like kind of sounds like, with how the words and how you say it is, it kind of sounds like Shanks. But so there's that, and you know, Blackbeards and all that. So each bounty is significant. So everyone is possibly saying that by the end of the series, Luffy's bounty will be 5,600,000,000, because that means, or the way that it's read is called Gomu, which, with Luffy having the Gomu Gomu no Mi, or the, you know, rubber fruit, that will be Luffy's bounty at the end. So that's possibly what we will see. Luffy's bounty will be higher than Roger's, and it will also be significant to his power. So there's that. So like I said earlier, if you guys have enjoyed, please hit that thumbs up button. Leave some comments down below. What are your guys' thoughts on this? What are your predictions of Act 3? There's a lot of things that could happen. There are a lot of things that could happen. But Act 3 is going to be suspenseful. It's going to be long. It's going to be possibly 40 or 43 chapters long. So that means it will be longer than Act 2, which was only 30. So it's possible. So we will see in due time when Act 3 starts. But once it's all said and done, there will be a video out. It will be fun. be great. And then there's that. So if you guys are new to the channel, please subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time.